What is going on, everybody? This is Stats Over Politics. I am Sean Holko alongside my guys, Javon Toddy, Gary Singh back again, Kevin Dent. Gary, I'm going to start with you since you weren't here last week. Welcome back, my brother. How are we doing?
Yeah, we're doing good, man. Let's get started. You know, it's Christmas week, primetime sports talk. Let's get it, my guys.
Kevin, bro, how are we doing? Christmas on the horizon, first year as a newlywed.
You know, man, I can't complain. I get a puppy on Friday, man. So it's just a lot of things changing for me. So I'm excited, man. Get to come puppy dad.
Do we know what? Man? Yeah, do we know what kind?
Yeah, I'm gonna get a lab.
Oh,
okay,
awesome.
Full family man.
Black lab, yeah.
Full family man.
That's awesome, Javon. You've had a pretty special day for yourself.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, just a little insider before our guys joined the stream. But yeah, so how we doing, bro?
Man, you know, just the Suns forgot how to play basketball, and the Miami Heat just forgot how to play. But Jimmy Butler didn't play, but they still could have won that game, to be honest. But it is what it is.
Yeah, you know, it is what it is. That's just how things go sometimes. And just want to say what's up to some of our loyal listeners in the YouTube stream. We got our guy James. What's up? Julian even showed up, even though his Cowgirls got beat by Dougie P in the Jags.
Dougie P.
What's up with Tyson as well? Commanders got cheated. I believe that is the truth, even though I slept through that entire game. So, gentlemen, we got a lot to talk about today. We're going to get to some NFL to kick things off. You see the sweater. You see the hoodie. Back on top in the NFC West. Didn't get the new merch yet, but the Niners are the kings of the NFC West once again. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to a bunch of NFL. Then we're going to get to some NBA. Lots of topics to talk about. So, let's not waste any more time, gentlemen, and let's get right to what I just mentioned. The San Francisco 49ers won the NFC West. Last Thursday, they beat the Seattle Seahawks. I was about to say they beat the brakes off of them. The game felt like it was a lot more lopsided to me than what the final score ended up indicating. I think it was 21-13. I didn't have it right in front of me. That's bad preparation on me. Anyway.
Yes, sir. 21-13. Got you.
Oh, thank you, Gary. So we got the fact checker right there. I appreciate you. And so anyways, the game seemed like it was a lot bigger of a margin than 8 points. So Javon, I'm going to kick things off with you. You know, I got to get to my other 49er fan in the chat. So I just want to get your thoughts on the Niners reclaiming the NFC West for the first time since 2019.
Well, you know, I was never really worried about, you know, going to Seattle, and, you know, people were saying the Debo's out, the Niners are banged up. Seattle, this could be the game. Yeah, and, you know, Seattle just lost to the Panthers the week prior, and, you know, at home Thursday night, you You're hearing things that they've never lost in the uniforms, that they're like, with the uniforms that they wear, like they're a certain record against the Niners, and the Niners haven't swept Seattle in however many years, and blah, blah, blah. Third string quarterback, Thursday night football, short week. He's got an oblique tear. Is he going to play? And then, Brock Purdy, he goes in and he's cool, calm, and collected, act like he's been there. He's a pro. He's a pro's pro. And, like I said, this San Francisco defense is putting up historic numbers. I'm getting Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, those kind of vibes when it comes to the San Francisco 49er defense. I mean, you just got guys everywhere, Pro Bowlers. By the way, Javon Kinlaw is supposed to be coming back this week. We're only getting better, okay? And then Deebo Samuel's going to come back. They forgot that Christian McCaffrey's back there running roughshod. He's, first in, ever since he joined the Niners, he's first in a whole bunch of categories like catches, touches just out the backfield. We're getting him involved. And, Brock Purdy is just kind of we don't need him to be Brady. We don't need him to be Josh Allen just because of how great this defense is. And so when you got guys like George Kittle scoring 2 touchdowns, just running all over the place, you got Christian McCaffrey who you could just hand the ball off. He could line up in the slot. You could put him pretty much anywhere. It's kind of just, get the ball to the Pro Bowler. Let's play that game. Get the ball to the Pro Bowler, because that's what this offense pretty much is. You got Pro Bowlers everywhere. And when you have the best left tackle in football, you just run right behind him. And things are just a lot easier. And so I think with a guy in Brock Purdy and, being able to clinch the NFC West in Seattle, it's just so much sweeter. And when you got, like I already mentioned, you got guys like Deebo Samuel, who's going to be coming back in a couple weeks, and you got guys like Javon Kinlaw come back on the D-line to make the defense even better than it already is. Man, it's going to be a scary sight.
Look at Sean, all happy what you're saying.
Yeah, it's going to be a very scary sight for people.
Scary hours, Gary.
Come playoff time, because we already saw the fiasco on Saturday in Minnesota, and with the news coming out about
we'll get to that.
We don't know what's going on. So all I'm saying is this nobody wants to play the hottest team in the NFL, and that is the San Francisco 49ers.
Those San Francisco 49ers have won 7 games in a row. And Kevin, our guy Manny, is in the YouTube chat saying, just please leave my Hawks alone. But we refuse to do so. So, Kevin, you're obviously not the 49ers fan here. So can I get some perspective from the Seattle side on this game?
Yeah, man. You can just tell Seattle had no idea what to do. You can read the scouting reports all you want. But when Bosa's on the edge coming off like that, Geno had no luck. He looked right for 2 seconds and he's in the ground. So it was hard for them to get anything going. The run game couldn't get going.
Hold on. I don't mean to cut you off. That's Defensive Player of the Year, Bosa. But go ahead. I'm going to let you finish.
Okay. Slow your roll now.
Nick, not Joey. Nick.
They beat the Seahawks and lose their mind.
Man.
Yeah, man. The Seahawks.
7 wins in a row, Kevin. It's 7 wins in a row.
No, go ahead. Let him finish.
How many playoff teams?
Let him finish. Go ahead.
I mean,
you play the schedule ahead of you, man. I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
Let him finish.
You guys look good, man. I can't lie. The Seahawks are just who we thought they were. They had some big games early. The Geno experiment looked like it was taking off, but reality was going to hit some point. As soon as they had Toddy mentioned earlier.
Did he write back yet? Did they write back yet, man? Let me know.
As soon as I saw the stat of them never losing in that jersey, I was like, it's either going to get embarrassed. Yeah. So it was a long night to be a Seattle fan. Sorry, Manny.
So, Gary, you have been waiting very patiently. The long-awaited return of our guy, Gary Sings. So, you got the floor now, my guy. What were your thoughts on this game? And the Niners winning the West again.
So funny. Yeah, West again. Kevin, these guys are so hilarious, man. You guys are so pumped up, right? I just checked. You guys are winning out. Y'all beating Washington, the Raiders, and Arizona. You guys are going to win out.
10 in a row. Ooh.
10 in a row. No problem at all. This is great for us, Kevin. We're going to keep pumping you guys up. Because
are we creeping?
Creeping.
Are the Eagles falling out of the playoff contention? That's the only way you're getting the 1 seed.
Hey, bro. That shoulder.
The Eagles are going to win out, too. The Eagles are going to win out, too.
All right. Eagles have 3 games to win 1. We're fine.
All right, gentlemen. Let's let Gary have the floor.
No, it's good. It's good. But it's funny, though. Vaughn said something particular, and he took as a positive, but I'm taking totally as a negative. He said that all we got to do is give it to the playmakers. But at some point, it's going to call for the playmaker to be Brock Purdy. He's going to have that 2-minute drive. He's going to have to maybe make a comeback. He's going to have to be the guy. And I would say about 99% of the time in the playoffs, that's what it comes down to, if you have the guy or not. Only a few times in this league we have seen guys go far distance like a Joe Flacco, or the quarterback's not doing great. We've seen like Colin Kaepernick get there. We've seen other guys. We've seen so many players get there, but winning the whole thing is a different thing. It's a different animal. And you can see in the playoffs, if you're down a little bit, I don't know, guys. I don't know if Brock Purdy, I haven't seen enough from the rookie yet. We haven't seen enough from the rookie yet to prove himself, to come back in that moment. I haven't seen a 2-minute drive yet. I haven't seen any pressure put on him yet. So as soon as that pressure hits, that's where we're going to see if the 49ers fold or not. But it's looking good in your guys' favor. I still would bet against it, though. I would still bet against it.
Smart man.
And that's a very fair point. It's an extremely small sample size, and I just want to agree with our guy James in the YouTube chat. It is good to have you back, Gary,
Appreciate
even if you're
James.
disagreeing with us. And so I just want to tell a really quick side story. So I went to dinner with my mom last Thursday, and we were watching the 49ers game, and there was a 49ers fan there having a pitcher of beer to himself, and he was watching the game. And I ended up chatting with him at the end of the game, and he was telling me that he would rather have Brock Purdy over Trey Lance or Jimmy Garoppolo. And you know why he said that? He said because Brock Purdy has proven that he can stay healthy. And I said, my man, he has started 2 games. Trey Lance has started 2 games, actually 3 games. And then he got hurt in the 4th game. And so I was like, I love the enthusiasm. But, man, it's a tiny sample size for Brock Purdy. Gary, I agree with you. You know, we are on the Brock Purdy hype train, BCB, if you know, you know. But, you know, it's a small sample size. So I agree with you. Javon, do you have a response to anything that Gary or Kevin said?
Well, I mean, you know, he said Brock Purdy's going to be able to have to make plays. Well, you got guy. We're leading. Like, I think we have like one of the most Pro Bowl selections. Just if you just like, I'm just naming guys, man. The defense is stacked. You got Mooney Ward locking up DK Metcalf. Got Dre Greenlaw about to fight and all this stuff. When you got Talanoa who funk, I'm just like, there's just guys everywhere, man. So I'm saying this defense is number one.
There's no doubt about that. There's no guy.
I'm just saying it's going to be
the main
tough.
guy is going to be that quarterback guy, Devon. It's going to be the main guy.
Okay, so let's just Brock Purdy is not the best quarterback. If you just go based off quarterbacks, let's just go based off the playoffs.
Is he top 10? Top 15? Is he top 15?
No.
All right.
Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy. I'm going with Jalen Hurts, obviously. Brady versus Brock Purdy. Brady. Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy.
Oh
no!
Julian, you better be in the comments.
You would say Dak. Okay. All right. That's what you would think you would say, right? But am I so sure? We'll wait and see. But for now, we'll say Dak. And then
just keep saying that. We'll wait and see. That's the main thing.
And you look at Daniel Jones, Brock Purdy. I'm going with Brock Purdy. You look at Heineke, Brock Purdy. I'm going with Brock.
Okay,
now,
so the point.
What I'm trying to get at is saying it's not Brock Purdy versus Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has to go against our number 1 defense in the league, and Brock Purdy. Well, I keep telling you guys, he has to get the ball. Oh man, he has to get he has it so tough when he has George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and Christian McCaffrey. So what I'm saying, it's get the ball to your playmakers. Kyle Shanahan has a system in place to where he doesn't have to make it hard. He's making the easy look easy, and Brock
that's
Purdy's
no doubt. But when the time calls, we're going to see when they're down by 2 touchdowns and can he make a comeback?
I don't see that just because our defense is going to keep us in any type of game.
All right, we'll see.
Okay, so before we move on, because this is stats over politics, Gary, I have a stat for you. The 49ers have allowed 17 or less points in 7 straight games. They had done that twice before or better. And that last happened in 1984. It also happened in 1981. So in 1981 and 1984, the 49ers had 8 straight games allowing 17 or less points. Coincidentally, They won the Super Bowl in both of those
Oh,
seasons.
who was the quarterback then? Please don't forget that.
Hey, man, that was Joey. It was Joey.
Then.
It
Y'all
was
have a
Joey.
Joey?
There was Hall of
Okay.
Famers on that team.
Y'all got some Hall of Famers on your team.
Hey.
Exactly. Hey,
But
come on,
y'all
man.
gonna win the whole
Hey,
thing?
man.
I don't know. Kevin, don't let these guys keep going on.
Hey, man. I just want to get to a couple of the YouTube comments.
Because our defense is the best in the league. It's historic what the numbers that our defense is putting up. So that's why I'm saying we have a chance. I'm not saying our quarterback is better just outright than any of these guys. Like, I'd rather have a Jalen Hurts, obviously, than a Brock Purdy, just because based off of his sheer athleticism, arm talent, he's a pro's pro. But at the same time, what I'm saying is all of the talent, what we've been able to build in the Kyle Shanahan era, just from top to bottom, defense to offense, our team is stacked. So it's hard when you have that much talent on your team to fuck it all up and not be able to lose and win games. When our defense is putting up historic numbers like this, it's going to be hard to pick against us just because of the way that we play. Our defense plays, we fly to the ball, and we're very, very physical. And so what I'm saying is all Brock Purdy has to do is manage the game. And that's what
y'all don't have that many weaknesses, but the only weakness we do see is the quarterback, and that could be the biggest weakness. That's all I'm trying to say.
But from what you've seen him, what weaknesses have you really seen in the 3 games that he's played?
He hadn't had to do much, Vaughn. Everyone's saying anyone can step in this system.
We don't need him to do much.
And so I want to get to some of these YouTube comments before we get on to our next NFL segment. Tyson thinks, Javon, that you're out your mind. He said that when you were listing all the different quarterback comparisons. Julian wants you to know that it's been 3 games. We appreciate you still being here, Julian, despite the fact that your Cowboys got absolutely worked.
Oh, we're going to get to the Cowboys.
Kyle, he makes a great point. Kevin's brother, he says Purdy gets carried by a good system. He's solid, though. James wants everyone to know that Dak is cheeks, apparently. Manny knows that it was Joey M that led the 49ers to the Super Bowl. And apparently the 49ers haven't played another good defense, according to Tyson. So there it is. Guys, now let's move on to Kevin's team. That is the Philadelphia Eagles, who won again. However, Jalen Hurts is hurt.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, I had to. Jalen Hurts sprained his right shoulder, which happens to be his throwing shoulder. Unfortunately, he is not Michael Vick. So, Kevin, I just want to get your thoughts on this because apparently he could miss up to 2 weeks. He could miss the game against the Cowgirls this week. And apparently Vegas already thought that the Cowboys should be favored. And now that Jalen Hurts could miss this game, the Cowboys are favored by nearly a touchdown. So, Kevin, I just want to get your thoughts on the injury and the upcoming game this weekend.
You know, man, to see him go down and get back up, it showed a lot of fight. He was able to still throw the ball around, which was a good sight to see. Moving forward, he doesn't have to play for the next 3-4 weeks. Honestly,
please don't.
We have everything in the bag. I 100% believe in Gardner Minshew. We play the Cowgirls, the Giants, and the Saints. He can get one of those wins. And honestly, I know we've been talking about the Brock Purdy show, but I definitely see Minshew going in and stepping into that role. We have
Minshew mania.
We have the best offensive line in football. We arguably have the best wide receiver duo in the league.
Arguably.
So and we have the number 1 defense. I know Toddy comes on here and just runs in mouth and talks, but I'm gonna give you guys some statistics. So the Eagles are first this year in pass yards allowed, sacks, and takeaways. They are the first team to do that in the NFL since 1974 Steelers team, who happened to win a Super Bowl. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Let's get it.
We are on the roll to having 4 guys with 10 sacks. You want to talk about our dark horse defensive player of the year? It's Hassan Reddick.
Jesus Christ.
And we do it by committee, and he still has 12.5 sacks, and we do it by committee. We have arguably the best defensive line in football. It's going to be real easy for Minshew to go. We just have it all ready for him, and he gets to just play the Purdy role. He just gets to be a game manager, get Miles going early, and we're just gonna keep on rolling, man. The Cowgirls, they are hurt defensively. This was the game we were waiting for last weekend, but coming into this week,
it does. It lost a little zestiness to it.
It is what it is, man. The Cowgirls always break apart in December. It just came early this year, so we just keep on rolling, man. We're gonna get this W on Saturday. Clinch the number 1 seed, clinch the division, sit our starters. But this game is definitely going to be personal. You know, they went out there and dropped 50 on our third string and practice squad players.
Last year.
So it's personal, and I wouldn't be surprised if Jalen played just to prove a point and then shut it down. So
has he officially been ruled out yet? I don't think he has.
Nah, bro. Don't be surprised if he plays.
Yeah, so
probably a toss up with a little sprain right shoulder. Probably a toss up.
Yeah.
I want to get this to Gary next because Tyson says that the Cowgirls are frauds. So Gary, I want to pose that question to you.
Tyson's team? I'm
Commanders.
Yeah. So Gary, I want to pose that question to you. Are the Dallas Cowboys? I'll show them some respect, Julian. Are the Dallas Cowboys frauds?
Oh man, we have no Dallas Cowboy fan supporters here like that to support them, but man, they are frauds every year since I've been alive. No doubt. Looking at my brother right across from me, smiling Dallas Cowboys fan right now. They're frauds. You already know that their team is going to just fold when it's time to count. When it's time, well, their defense has been good all year, but all of a sudden, now last 2 weeks, the defense is making mistakes. Again, we have another. I just feel bad for Dak. It's like any quarterback that's in that position for Dallas Cowboys just gets a little bit like something just happens to them where they don't show up. Like before it was Romo throwing last second interceptions, now it's Dak throwing last second interceptions. It's just ridiculous what the Cowboys do. But hey, we love to watch them. I love to see them fail. I can't wait. They're the top frauds in the whole NFL right now. Them and the Vikings are probably close to them 1 and 2. So actually, it might be the Niners. No, I'm messing with you guys. I want to hate the Niners so bad, but you can't right now. I'm just gonna wait for your guys' downfall. So I'm waiting for the Niners downfall, the Cowboys downfall, and that's what we're saying right now. But before I even move on real quick, I want to talk about the Eagles. I think Kev, they should sit him out. For sure, for the next 2-3 weeks, get them right for the playoffs. They already got home cooking. They already only lost 1 game this year. I feel like they should just sit him out for at least 1 or 2 weeks because Jalen Hurts, you want him full rested and full ready to go. You guys probably gonna have a bye week 1 anyway for the playoffs.
So fire now.
So I give him like 1 week rest, maybe 2. Come back for the last game. Get that rust off. And come off for the run. That's what I think they should do. It kind of sucks, though, because I feel like he might lose the MVP race now because, obviously, if he misses any type of games, it's probably going to be Patty's. But, man, I just feel like the Eagles, they're in control of their own destiny. So, at this moment, especially for the number 1 seed. So, I feel they should take advantage of that. And it's going to be so funny, too, if the Cowboys lose to the Eagles with no Jalen Hurts. Woo, that's going to be a stinger.
So, Javon, I know that you have a lot to say in response to everything that Kevin said. You started boiling, but Julian does make the point that the Cowboys did play with Cooper Rush the last time that they faced the Eagles because Dak was out hurt. Dak is back, but based on what you were saying earlier, it doesn't seem like that's much of an upgrade.
Well, I mean, the first game, it was all hype. Meek Mill was out there walking the team out, throwing around, betting 20,000 that the Cowboys would lose and all this other stuff. But, Kev, you playing with fire now. I don't think he's playing with a little bit of fire saying, hey, just sit Jalen Hurts out. No biggie. 3 weeks. So, hold on now. Hold on. You sure you want to do that? When you got teams like the Niners, Vikings, creeping up, maybe. Now the Vikings, I'm not too sure about them. The Vikings, I think that they're just frauds all the way around.
We'll get to them. To them.
I think if Jalen can play, I would play him. Just because, Jalen obviously gives you the best chance to win. Gardner Minshew, yes, he's had some sparks, some moments. Jacksonville, yeah, but he's a backup for a reason. Now, if you do decide to sit Jalen Hurts and he's not able to go and the Eagles go on a losing streak. Now, I do think that this team is equipped similar to the 49ers, just based off their defense. They've been playing solid. You obviously have Darius Slay out there. You got guys like you already mentioned Hassan Reddick. I mean, they have a very great team. Like, they got Batman, the swole Batman, and they got the skinny Batman. I mean, arguably the best wide receiver duo in the league, and A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. So, like I said, this team is equipped to, go on a run. But I think what makes their engine run is their run game. Miles Sanders, Boston Scott. You got, what's the other running back's name, Kevin?
Kenneth Gainwell.
Gainwell. And Jalen Hurts. He had 3 rushing touchdowns, 300 yards passing this past game. So I think what makes them go is their run game. When you take that away, they become one-dimensional, I think. So I think if Jalen Hurts can go, I would play him. But if you are playing the Gardner Minshew show, I think you're starting to play with fire a little bit. And we don't know the extent of the deep dive that the Eagles could fall into. If they do go on this road and the next 3 weeks, it's going to be the Gardner Minshew show, and they kind of have to rely on him to win them games. I'm not sure if they can close the season out. Now, you might be able to get a win out of that, but if they lose 2 games, they will still be the number 1, number 2 seed. Who knows?
Number 1. There's no
But
way.
my question is you say if Jalen Hurts can go, what is your definition of can go? Because this is the NFL. Guys play through injuries. Yeah. Guys shoot themselves up with painkillers just to numb it for 4 hours.
He hasn't even been ruled out, so we don't know the extent of the injury. We just know that he sprained his shoulder, so we don't know if he's able to play or not, and we don't know the extent of the injury.
Yes, and obviously we're not going to be there in the locker room, and we're not going to be finding out whether if Tyrod Taylor gets his lung punctured before the game. But Jalen Hurts, if he is at a point where the injury is bad enough that he needs to seek some type of painkiller, would you say that's the point that he needs to sit out? Because the Eagles, okay, so Kevin, I'm going to throw this to you, because what's your definition of can go? If he gets to that certain point that I was describing, does he need to sit? I mean, Kevin, I know earlier that you were saying that you wouldn't mind him sitting. So what's your definition of can go?
Honestly, I think it comes down to you having to protect the player from themselves. We have bigger aspirations. Garry or Toddy mentioned that, he might fall out of the MVP favorite. We don't play for little awards. We play for the big one at the end. So you just have to save yourself from your player. Of course he's going to want to go. Of course, like you said, they're going to shoot themselves up. They're going to do whatever they can to play. But you have to think down the road. We have 3 games off. Or we have 3 games in a row, and then we have 2 weeks off because, that's what the 1 seed does. They sit at home and kick their feet up. So he'll have some extra time to rest. There's no reason to go out there and further injure himself. And, you got to look at examples like Lamar Jackson. You got a big payday coming up. Do you really want to go out there and further injure yourself?
Yeah, Kevin, that's a great point. Go ahead, Garry.
I was saying Kevin basically said the MVP trophy is a piece of trash.
Hey, man.
This means something. It'll be good for his validation for him. So you know what I'm saying? So
he's proven it this year, though.
Jalen Hurts.
I don't even think the MVP will really validate him.
That's what I'm saying.
I think Jalen has kind of already proven himself. Being
but it's always good to have some hardware, man. Legacy wise, come on, y'all. We know that.
Lombardi.
He has a crazy story. Just being the guy at Alabama and then getting benched for Tua, and Tua wins the national championship, having to transfer to OU and go there, and people kind of doubting him coming out of college. And then Carson Wentz kind of being the guy, and they draft Jalen Hurts. Doug Peterson did. And then, the Carson Wentz thing kind of spiraled out of control. Jalen kind of stepped up and was just handed the keys there, and he kind of just worked his way up. This is his 3rd year now. So it's kind of like you saw him where he was, and then in his first full year of starting, they made the playoffs. You got to give it up to him. And then in his 3rd year, this is technically his 2nd year starting, he's in the MVP race. So you just see the levels that he's progressed. And I don't think the MVP really kind of validates him. I think he's just one of the top quarterbacks in the league. You got to put him in the conversation now.
I help him out. Go ahead,
yeah,
Sean.
most definitely. And I just wanted to say that I always appreciate Manny in our chat because he always makes a lot of great points. And this one that I want to read for our audio listeners who can't see it on the screen, he said, "You will know how good a defensive team is if they can win with the backup. The 49ers, they are currently 3-0 with Brock Purdy, 2-0 as a starter. The Cowboys with Cooper Rush were 3-1, and both teams have great defenses. However, I will say that Dallas Cowboys defense is looking extremely vulnerable lately. Love my guy who went to Sac State, and then he went on to Fresno State before getting drafted in the 5th round by the Cowboys. Deron Bland is out there playing cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys. He's playing well, but he's a rookie 5th rounder, and that is the best that the Cowboys have to put out there right now because they are struggling with injuries, and that defense just wasn't what it was."
For just one more thing with the Eagles. Like I said, the Eagles are equipped because they have, similar to the Niners, they got Pro Bowlers. You got A.J. Brown. You got Miles Sanders. You got Devontae Smith. So I'm saying but the way that their team is set up, it's literally based on the run game. So the run, because Jalen Hurts in the read option is lethal. He can rush for 150 yards in a game. You're not getting that element with Gardner Minshew because they have two different styles of play. And the systems are different. You have the Kyle Shanahan system, and then you have, Nick Sirianni system, which is based off of a running quarterback. So that's why I think it's going to be a little bit different if Gardner Minshew plays, because you're getting a different identity from this offense.
So this past weekend, we had 3 games on Saturday. We will now have a bunch of games this upcoming Saturday because of Christmas coming up on Sunday. However, the first game of this past Saturday, man, it was a crazy one. And if you're a 49ers fan, not for the right reasons. The Indianapolis Colts, led by Jeff Saturday, the guy who was just on ESPN and had never had an NFL coaching gig. They were up 33-0 at halftime on the road in Minnesota against the 10-3 Vikings. They proceeded to lose the game 39-36 in overtime, and Matt Ryan is now on the wrong end of 2 of the greatest collapses in NFL history. So, gentlemen, I mean, you guys kind of already were ready to talk about this and jumped the gun when we were talking about the Cowboys, but the overall question is, are the Vikings frauds despite being 11-3? Gary, I'm going to throw it to you first. Yes or no, and why?
They're frauds. I hate to say it because I want to believe in them so badly. They got a great team. They got a lot of talent with Cooks. We already know Justin Jefferson. He's a killer. But again, I go back to the quarterback because this league is based on quarterbacks. And my guy, Kirk Cousins, always fails to show up. And you just can't. I just got that stain still remembering because I remember that all my family members were Cowboys fans going crazy when they got the breaks beaten off them versus the Cowboys earlier this year. I got the score right here, 40-3. That was one a few weeks ago. But this team is just a little weird. Like, some games are rolling, some games are not. When they do got it rolling, they're hitting all cylinders and they can't be stopped. But when they have a flat tire, like last year's playoffs, and like with Kirk Cousins in previous big time primetime games, it's pretty much a wrap for the Vikings. So do I trust them going deep? No. Are they frauds? Yes. Do they have the potential to maybe have a crazy run? There's a potential with a crazy run with this team, but would I bet my money on it? No way, no how with this Vikings team.
Kevin, are the Vikings frauds?
100%. And I've believed it since week 2. Primetime Kirk just doesn't show up in the chains. They leave him on the plane, and I don't know what's going on. But, the last 3 games, they had to escape to Mike White, and he had a chance to win at the very last play. They lost to the Lions, and then they got down 33-0 to the Colts. I believe if the the Lions and Packers were playing like they were now, I think the Vikings record looks a lot different. They had a lot really bad slow starts. So the Vikings were able to get so many games ahead in the division. It was kind of pointless. And we can still see the Packers and Lions get in there. I think that they're just not going to be able to pull it off in the end. And like Gary said, it comes down to quarterback play. And if your quarterback's not going to be able to do it, your team can only take you so far with those weapons around them.
Javon, the last time that the 49ers won the NFC West, they ended up playing the Vikings in the divisional round, and I feel like they kind of exposed the Vikings at that point as well. So, Javon, are you going to – because I do think that the Vikings are frauds. I've been saying it for weeks, just like Kevin. So are you going to make it unanimous and say that you also think the Vikings are frauds?
Come on, man. They're frauds, man. What are we talking about here? Primetime Kirk, man. Hey, but primetime
we all getting on Kirk, bro. Man, that sucks.
And 3 touchdowns. Come on now.
Do it 58 times, Toddy. I expect some stats.
Hey, man. They went on a run. But can we look at this Vikings offense? You got Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen, Jettis, my top receiver in the league, if you guys looked at my list, TJ Hawkinson. I mean, it's kind of who's the coach for the Vikings? I'm kind of spacing out.
Kevin O'Connell, formerly the Rams offensive coordinator.
Guess what? Guess who's Rams? The Shanahan system. It's kind of working out a little bit. If you just Kirk is a system quarterback. He's not a guy that can go out there and just, all right, I'm about to roll out and do this. Kirk is a pocket quarterback. If you get a guy like a Justin Jefferson who can get separation, Adam Thielen who can get separation, you've got a Dalvin Cook who can take a screen pass 80 yards. Why not, right? And when you're playing against a Jeff Saturday, it looks all good. But when you're playing when you're going into the playoffs and you're You're getting primetime. Now you can argue primetime Kirk showed up in Buffalo against Josh Allen, MVP candidate. Hold on now. But then when you saw him go up against the Eagles in week 2, it was kind of there was really no contest. They didn't stand a chance. So we kind of know what the Vikings are. Yes, they are the number 2 seed as of right now. But, you know, when you're beating the Lions and you're beating the Bears and you're beating, you know, the Saints, those slapdick teams here and there. I mean, it's easy to set up, you know, rack up wins like that. So I think we all kind of know the Vikings' future or fate that's probably coming up in the next couple of weeks, but they do have the potential.
Same as the Niners' fate.
Okay, but we don't have
Gary. He was just wrapping up, and now you just got him ready to go for another 5 minutes.
Let's not start talking about the Steelers, who are not supposed to be winning right now. They're doing a little bit too much.
That's a good problem, man.
Come on, man.
Winning culture.
Hey.
Mike Tomlin, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyways. Big Ben ain't walking through that door. Anyway, like I was saying. So the Vikings have the roster to make an NFC Championship game. However, their quarterback, I'm not so sure on. I don't think a lot of us are. But at the same time,
will they make it? Will they make it to the NFC Championship game? Yes or no?
No, absolutely.
Okay. Not. Okay. So
but they have the potential to do that. But we all know what primetime Kirk looks like.
And he is not very good.
He's not.
So, Kevin, you were the main one who wanted to talk about this. Now let's switch over to the AFC. I want to know, in your opinion, who's the best team in the AFC?
It's got to be the Bengals.
Ooh, okay, we're gonna have a conversation.
It's got to be the Bengals, man. Joe Burrow, you know, started off having, I think he threw Gary, 4 or 5 picks in the first game, and everyone thought it was a Super Bowl drought, and it was all this Jamar can't catch, all this nonsense going on, but crazy. You know, in-house the Bengals have arguably the best receiving core in football and arguably one of the best quarterbacks in football.
Amen.
And Joe Mixon doing what he's doing, it's going to make it hard for them to be beaten. And they already went. They went into the Lions Den and beat the Chiefs. You know, AFC Championship. They every time they match up, it's a good game. But Josh,
against Patty.
Yeah, the only quarterback. Josh and
man.
Patty. You know, I think they're a lot more one-dimensional. Everything goes through them. It's not the same with Joe. And you see when everything's on them, they force a lot of things because they have to carry the whole offense. And I don't think Joe has to do that. And I think those turnovers are going to come back and bite them. So I would have to go with the Bengals.
Gary, I know you got a lot to say in response to that, but I have to
go ahead, Sean. I was going to flip it to you.
I picked up on something specific that Kevin said right after we just had that Eagles segment about 10, 15 minutes ago. When I didn't actually write down the quote from the Eagles segment like I have that quote from last week where Toddy said that the Pelicans will finish number 1 in the West. Yeah, Gary, you missed that. That was pretty interesting. But what Kevin just said in the Eagles segment is he said that the Eagles have arguably the best wide receiver duo in the NFL. Now he says the Bengals arguably have core. I thought I heard duo. I think I heard duo.
You can't forget about the keyboard. You can't forget about boy. That's not a cop out at all. Don't hear it on the audio.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna fact check that. I'm gonna see if my ears deceive me. Okay. All right.
Can you give us the definition? Core versus duo. Just
well, core. I would assume a core is more than 2. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, hey, the chat, YouTube chat, let me know.
There we go.
YouTube chat, let me know. Did Kevin say that the Bengals
it's okay.
have, I mean,
who has a better Kevin?
And who has a better duo? Let me go ahead and fix the confusion. If I said duo, I'm sorry, Devontae and AJ. I know y'all listen to this, man. I apologize. It slipped out my mouth.
Man, you ain't showing no love.
He's not Boyd. But if we're going 3 to okay, come on now. If we're going 3 to 3, you're gonna give it to the Bengals over the Eagles. But if we're going 2, there's a debate.
All right.
Yeah. All right. I just
Tyreek and Waddle have something to say here too. I just forgot. Just remembering.
Yeah. I mean,
2 of the top 5, go getters in yards this year. I don't know.
Hey, gentlemen, that might have to be a segment for another week. Gary, I want to know who you think is the best in the AFC.
Oh man, so it's so funny. There's
Pittsburgh
three teams
Steelers.
in my mind that I've just been like contemplating who to take this year. It's the Bengals, who obviously are in my division, which I hate. Then we also got the Bills, who have been riding high all year. It's been everyone's preseason pick. And then, we got the sleeping giants that no one wants to talk about, I feel like, no more. My pick, the baby GOAT, Mr. Patrick Mahomes. The funny thing is, Kevin, you're not lying. I feel like Mahomes and the Chiefs have the Bills number, but the Bengals have the Chiefs number. But I'm going to bet on this, Kev. I don't think Mr. Mahomes, baby GOAT, is going to be losing back-to-back playoff games to the same team. I just don't think that's going to happen to him. And don't get me wrong, Joe Shiesty, he's a scary, scary man, especially with those guys like Chase he got on his team. And that defense is no joke when it's hitting all cylinders too. But I just got to go with the magic man himself, Patrick Mahomes, because you know what? Like you said, like everything runs through him, and they actually might have the best quarterback to wherever you want a pass catcher, you want to call Tyler, wherever you want to call Kelsey, you want to call him a tight end, a receiver, whatever you want to call him. I feel like that's the best connection in the league. When it's time to go, everyone knows who they're going into. Is going to big Kelsey, and it's usually a tud. It's usually a first down, and if it's not, it's Mr. Magic Man himself running around, throwing one-arm slingers everywhere. I just feel like when they're hitting all cylinders, and with the team they got, especially their coach, they got some bad taste in their mouth from that Bengals, and I thought, they're trying to get that revenge game. So it's good they actually lost this regular season game. It's because I feel like they try to get the revenge game and they put too much pressure on it. Like I know you've been watching the Kelsey show too, Kevin. They put too much pressure on it and they fumbled the bag on that one. So now I feel like when they come back in the playoffs, third time the charm, it's gonna be too hard to beat them 3 times in a row. So I got my guy, Patty Mahomes, the baby GOAT. And Bills are there. The Bills are there. The Bills are there. Just the Bills, I just feel like I just feel like sometimes they just make dumb plays at the end. I just feel like they make dumb plays at the end. And I just feel like I said, Patty got their number. Simple.
And Javon, before we get your thoughts on who the best team in the AFC, I just want to mention that you guys are tuned in to Stats Over Politics. This is episode number 7. Sean Holko, Javon Toddy, Kevin Dent, Gary Singh. And make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. We're trying to get those numbers up. They're climbing. We're growing. And we appreciate you all for tuning in. And just want to get to a couple of the YouTube comments. What's up, Frankie? We appreciate you tuning in. Same to you,
Frankie,
Judy. And Marcellus wants everyone to know that he has arrived. So, Javon, I just want to get your thoughts now on who you think the best team in the AFC is.
I kind of thought about this one, and I'm kind of going to go on a limb here, but I'm going to say the Chargers.
Oh.
The Chargers, Justin Herbert has been cooking with hot grease lately. I think he's like one of the only quarterbacks to throw for 4,000 yards in his first 3 seasons. And when you're getting guys healthy, another duo, Kevin, when you got Mike Williams and you got, Keenan Allen and those guys coming back healthy, Austin Eckler's running roughshod on everybody, it's going to be tough to beat. Now, the defense is the only thing I am concerned a little bit about with this Chargers defense. They have an outstanding line. I think Joey Bosa he's back. No, I'm not sure. Khalil Mack has been playing well. Even though he's a more seasoned vet now. Asante Samuel Jr. has been playing well. He had a takeaway, I believe, in this past game. And I think if this defense can hold its own end up, I think that if the Chargers get to like the 7th seed, and it's going to be like the Bengals or they play the Chiefs, who wants to go against Justin Herbert as a 7th seed? Like, think about that.
I would.
Javon, are they the best team in the AFC? Not no wild card, not the best
I like
team
the
in the AFC
Chargers,
right
man. I love the Chargers.
All right.
I love the
That's
All right,
Chargers.
I respect it. I
love the
it.
Chargers. Justin Herbert, I think he's going to be a guy, if he gets into the playoff, just get his foot in the door. He can make plays. Kids can sling it.
I respect that because I'm going completely chalk, and I'll keep it quick. I think it's still the Chiefs until the Chiefs get knocked off.
Hey,
like
Bills
everyone,
Mafia's not fucking with that, Sean.
I love my Buffalo Bills, and I will always be riding with the Bills Mafia. But I'm just giving my honest opinion. Like, everyone wants to crown a new team, but we look back at the last 4 years. Yeah, the Bengals beat the Chiefs last year and got to the Super Bowl, but to me,
On a
it's
bad
the
half.
Chiefs. Exactly. And so to me, it's the Chiefs. Everyone's always trying to knock the Chiefs off the pedestal. Coming into this year, we all thought that all 4 teams in the AFC West could make the playoffs. Now we see that the Chiefs are the only team left standing from the AFC West. Maybe the Chargers do get in. They've been playing well. But as of right now, the Chiefs are the only team from that division going to the Super Bowl. And I still think that they are the best team in the AFC because Garry was saying, baby GOAT, Patrick Mahomes, one day he will wear that crown. But until they get knocked out, I'm rolling with the Chiefs. And I just want to give a shout out to my boy Terry.
Number 1 team in the AFC right now, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen's injury kind of scares me a little bit. The fact that he's kind of hobbled and, I just feel like it's the Chiefs for me.
I don't know about this too, if you guys think this with the Bills, but something about the Bills playing in the snow in the playoff time, I know it's supposed to be beneficial for them, but I also feel like their team throws around like darts around the whole field. It's going to be actually kind of bad for them. And their running game, I know they made a trade during the season trying to get the running game going. This past game, the running game was doing pretty good, but that's been one of their Achilles heels this year. They can't get the running game started. And like, Kevin said earlier, you put all the money on Patrick, you put all the money on the Bills quarterback, Allen, but who are you going to trust at the end of the day? I'm going to trust Patty, you know what I'm saying? So that's just me.
All right, gentlemen. Well, now it's time to wrap up this NFL segment with some timely takes from the National Football League. And Garry, I'm going to throw it to you first because you were not with us last week for the first edition of this. You want to talk about the Chargers, that same team that Javon loves?
I know, Vaughn, you stole the thunder, man. Come on now. Nah, he literally said everything I was going to say, but see, he chose him as the best team. Now, I was going to choose him as the sneaky team because, I got some stats. They won the last 3 of the 4 games. The last remaining schedule they got the Indiana. And the Indiana Colts that we already talked about. Jeff Sauter led team, ESPN analyst. No knock on him, but they're looking like they're going for a pick. They got the Chargers who are just really just saying, went all in, happy with the Super Bowl, and they're going to just try to refresh next year. And we got Denver. We already know what happened. That's one of the worst disappointments of this year. So I can see them winning out. I got a lot of teams winning out, guys? I got you guys winning out. I got every team winning out. Somebody got to lose here. But
Pittsburgh going to win out?
I got Chargers winning out. We're not winning out. We ain't winning out. Actually, I don't know. Let me look at this. I didn't look at the schedule. I didn't look a couple weeks ago. Don't let me get started on the Steelers. We're going to talk about them maybe, if it gets a little closer. But yeah, if they win the last 3 games, they could get 11 wins, 6 out of the last 7. Like Vaughn said, they're all gonna be dangerous in a 5th, 6th, 7th seed. And Herbert is a scary man. Like I just gotta see him in the playoffs. That's one thing I gotta see him in the playoffs. Only thing I don't trust about their team, Vaughn, Kevin, Sean, is that really their coach. Their coach has been making head scratching plays in key moments, and I feel like until that's fixed or until that is under, let's just say, until it's fixed, really, like when your teams have more confidence, when you're making smart plays, like you can't have every season or multiple games in one season where you feel like you did mismanagement of the clock. You went for a 4th down you shouldn't have went for. Went for a 2-point conversion you shouldn't have went for. Like you can't have this many. There's so many. All these teams, even the worst team in the NFL, we all know, it's so close, the margins of for victory. So I feel like those little things are going to be able to hurt them. But man, the Chargers are sneaky. That Justin Herbert, man, is just on point, on target. We got a lot of good young guys right now. It's just hard to choose.
And they're all in the AFC.
All in the AFC.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. I'm not going to lie. If any of these quarterbacks were on your guys, you guys would be down. All y'all. All Niners, Eagles, both of y'all. Come on now. Y'all know the truth. I know any of these 4 quarterbacks I just named, y'all would take all 4 of them over your quarterback. We're only talking to Kevin really right now.
Yeah, you ain't talking to Kevin.
Anyway.
Kevin, you taking Hurts? I know you taking Hurts over none of the quarterbacks that I mentioned.
Why not? He's about to be the MVP. He's also arguably he's
going
to be
now.
the best quarterback.
Right.
Hey man,
so
you talk about that hardware.
All right, Kevin says taking him over Herbert, Allen, Burrow, and Patrick Mahomes for sure.
He's an MVP candidate.
All right.
Hey, Sean, write this quote down.
Oh yeah, I got you. I'll write that one down. So Kevin, I want to hear about the Jaguars and your boy Dougie P.
Dude, Dougie P Magic, man, doing it all over again. I don't know if you guys saw it, but the Eagles sent the Jags a whole bunch of chili cheese.
Yeah, I saw that.
Hey, chili feast steaks, man. We're showing love, man, all the way from Philly. But Trevor Lawrence, man, he's exactly who we thought he was. Over the last couple games, over the last 8 games, you can see the true Trevor Lawrence. I feel like everyone wrote him off after the first year with the whole Urban Meyer situation. They had a lot going on, but now that he got Dougie P in their offensive-minded coach, he's balling and it's showing. Zay Jones, we can man something like that, and the weapons he has around him: Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, Travis Etienne Jr. coming back from injury, and Evan Ingram. They're all arguably having career years this year, and the only thing that changed was the location and the quarterback. I honestly believe that they are going to win out the rest of the season, and they're going to catch the Titans and win the AFC South.
Ooh, dangerous.
Gary, you wanted to respond?
Kevin, I think our first episode, that was a demo episode that never went out. Just to let everyone know,
No,
me and Kevin got a
Never
bet.
The unreleased episode.
The unreleased episode. My Steelers were going to have a worse record than his now Jaguars that he's rooting for. The funny thing is, I said they're going to be good, just not this year. So, hey, we 6-8, man. I know. I mean, you've been looking at that on the low key, so it's going to be pretty. I like watching them too. That's why I kind of hate rooting for them, but it's all good though. We 6-8. We all in the hunt. Come on now, we all in the hunt.
Kevin is heartless when it comes to his bets, and I'll just leave it at that. I will just leave it at that. Javon, there was a pretty crazy ending in that Raiders game, wasn't there?
Well, there were a lot of implications just on that game, outside game. There's this guy, I don't know if you guys follow, $1 Million Marco. Shout out to him. He had a parlay pending, and it included the Jags, and the Jags saved him with that pick six. With that pick six, and then I think with that Raiders game, you never really see something so ad-libby at the end of a New England game. They're always usually so tight-knit. They had a blocked punt. Just you're seeing kind of little leaks here and there, and with Bill calling the plays, and you have guys kind of taking shots like they're calling plays like a defensive head coach would call plays. Running the ball, screen passes, don't really trust their quarterback, and then they kind of let the Raiders hang around a little bit at the end. For the guys that saw that catch at the end, not at the end, but it was like one of those touchdowns where he was out of bounds, but they called it a touchdown. They were saying, you know what, the tuck rule happened. Let's throw the Raiders a bone here and give them a touchdown. So the final play, obviously, they just ran the ball with. If you guys just wanted to go to overtime, I just would have took a knee. I mean, that was the only logical thing to do. But they ran the ball, and the game is tied. So why are you trying to make all of this happen at the end of a game when you have, if you trusted in your team, you would just kneel it going to overtime. But then you got a guy in Jacoby Myers just trying to make a play. If you kind of see, there's like another video of like Chandler Jones who's on the 50-yard line, and he's just kind of like kneeling, or he's like kind of like disguising himself. And then
he pushed Mac Jones into the earth.
And then he pops up, catches. I think it counts as a fumble technically because it was a backwards pass. It wasn't an interception.
The Raiders being the Raiders.
The Raiders Raidered at the end, and Chandler Jones shoves Mac Jones all the way to the ground. What kind of tackle was that? That was insane.
The quarterback.
And then and then Chandler Jones. This is probably one of the craziest endings we've probably seen in NFL. Just period. Have you ever seen a walk-off lateral touchdown for the win? No, but yeah, the Raiders are statistically still in the hunt, but they need a whole lot of stuff to happen. And yeah, the Raiders.
Yes or no?
It was a crazy take.
If you're the head coach, Vaughn, do you do laterals for a last play or no? You kneel it. What's up, guys?
If the game is tied, yes. If you're losing, not if the game is tied.
Kevin, Sean with a fuck no. Vaughn with a yes.
Nah,
Kev, what
bro,
you thinking?
You just take it OT, man. You just
take it OT. The thing is, if you have a good quarterback, I don't know why we're laddering it. Why aren't we throwing a 70-yard bomb for?
Well, they drafted Mac Jones, and they got the leftovers of the
point
2019 NFL draft. So, or 2019? No, that was 2021. Jesus Christ, time has flown by.
Brock Purdy doesn't have that moment either. Shit.
Oh boy. All righty.
I gotta keep all my sneak disses in there, y'all.
So, Kevin, I just want to make sure that this quote is accurate. I wrote down, I'm taking Jalen Hurts over Mahomes, Herbert, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow.
He said
accurate.
100%.
All righty, we got it.
Kevin's
We got
ride
it.
or die, man.
He said
All right, Gary, I'm waiting for you to. Gary, you know, as a journalist, I'm waiting for you to give me that juicy quote next. I wanna write that down next.
Oh, you want a hot take?
He said you guys got hot takes. All right, so gentlemen, I want to talk about the reigning Super Bowl champions, the Los Angeles Rams, who are now 4-10 after losing to the Packers on Monday Night Football at Lambeau. And the Rams now are tied for the most losses in a single season by a defending Super Bowl champion, and there's still 3 games remaining. The other team that was a reigning Super Bowl champion and had lost 10 games in the season was the 99 Broncos. Granted, there is 1 extra game this season now versus those teams, but still, 3 games left. The Rams have a chance to have the most losses by a reigning Super Bowl champion. 4 other teams finished with 9 losses, but just a laughable year for the Los Angeles Rams. And as a 49ers fan, I absolutely love it. Sean McVay, I'm sorry for the loss of your grandfather, the legendary John McVay, who was an integral member of the 49ers Super Bowl teams. So I do have sympathy for Sean in that case, but I almost laughed when I heard him say that this has been a humbling season for him because, like, he's the wonder kid and he's had so much greatness and so much success so far. And now he's finally experiencing what the NFL is like. And I hope that the Rams get that record for the most losses by a Super Bowl champion.
Hater.
no picks, and they ain't got no picks.
It sounds like a 49er hater fan. That's what it sounds like.
Oh, big time hater, without a
Don't
doubt.
fuck with the Rams.
He's mad at the Super Bowl. You hear this, Kevin? He wanted to pick his own rival team. See?
All right,
Keep
Manny
them-
just wants
well,
us to
they're down,
know that if
Sean,
the
but
Rams make the
turn it
play,
up on your grave
Hey,
last year.
let's forget about that. So Manny just wants us to know that if the Rams make the playoffs, he's going to give each of us $1,000. So
Haven't they been eliminated from
Is there?
playoff?
I don't think they're eliminated. dog.
they did get eliminated. I remember.
That's
seeing
why he's
that
not giving us
graphic.
1,000.
Yeah, very, very clever, Manny. You actually got me to
$1
read. You actually got me to read your
million.
sarcasm. Nice job. I give Manny 1, Sean 0. All right, guys. So earlier, our boy James, he was asking, I'm just wondering when are we gonna get Sean's pop quiz. I even had to hop in the YouTube chat just to let him know it's coming soon. And that moment has arrived, gentlemen. It is your favorite time of the week. It is time for Sean's pop quiz. Woo! NFC West edition. So, Javon,
You see how I'm not happy?
yeah, I do see that. Javon is currently at the top of the leaderboard after 5 weeks. with 4
Kevin's
points.
got a goose egg.
Kevin has 2. Gary has 0.
Hey,
Gary
man, I don't know why we're
miss
making this a
last
topic.
week. Hey, man, the 49ers won the NFC West, so I decided this week we're going to go to the NFL for Sean's
This
pop
is make
quiz,
look
but
like
it's
an
going to
idiot.
be specifically about the NFC West. So I'm going to start off with, let's see. All right, Gary, I'm going to start off with you.
I hate you for the
Because
bottom.
you.
Hey,
Yeah.
we're gonna start rotating controls now, y'all.
Yeah.
Everyone
yeah,
has to start
Gary-
rotating
Gary-
controls.
Gary
Come on, Bob.
needs the StreamYard. Gary needs the StreamYard at this point. All right, so gentlemen, remember that you can steal, and for our audience on YouTube and Twitter, please don't spoil it in the comments until we already have an answer. Gary, I want to know, and Gary, I'm keeping my eyes on you because Gary loves to cheat. It is well known. I just want to know,
That
can
was
you
one
name
time.
one of?
That was one time.
All right, well, can you name one of the 3 teams that used to be in the NFC West?
Oh, was it the Chargers?
Tough. So what's your final guess?
I think the Chargers were. I think I'm gonna go with the Chargers. I think I'm gonna.
You're gonna go with the Chargers. Unfortunately, the Chargers are not correct.
Hey, man, I'm trying to make sure it goes this way.
All right. So Javon, Kevin, do either of you want to try to steal?
Go
Oh,
ahead,
yeah.
Kev.
It's the Rams.
No, used to be in the NFC West.
Oh, the Falcons. The Falcons used to be in the NFC West.
Okay. Do we count his first guess?
No, I
no.
misheard you. Obviously,
Okay,
they're in
okay.
the
Yeah,
NFC
you
West.
All right.
misheard.
All right. Just making sure. So what was your official guess, Kevin, for the steal?
The Falcons.
Yeah,
The Falcons, ding, 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 are correct.
there we go.
Actually, 3 teams that are currently in the NFC South used to be in the NFC West. The Falcons, the Carolina Panthers, and the New Orleans Saints, interesting enough. So Kevin gets the steal. I'll drop down the leaderboard. It used to say 2 for Kevin, but I got to edit that before I put – hold up. Kevin, I got you. Let me just pop that back up there. Oh, look at that. All right, Kevin now has 3 points. Gary still has a goose egg. Okay.
This game is for you're supposed to get the least amount right. I thought that was the goal.
Hey, bro, this ain't golf. This ain't golf. This isn't golf. All right, so next question, Kevin. Kevin, this one's going to come to you. And this will test to see how well you've been paying attention to the NFL over the last decade or so. Okay. Kevin, I want to know, how many NFC West titles have the 49ers won since 2011? Just take a guess.
2011. Let's go.
By the way, James got our answer right.
Let's go 6.
He looked it up.
Oh, James Howell did look it up. Okay, so Kevin, you're going with 6. Unfortunately, that is incorrect. The answer is 4. The 49ers.
Why did you let me steal it?
I know.
So
I was gonna guess that one too,
so
Sean.
sorry.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. That's so, Sean. I'm not gonna lie. I swear to God, I heard that today. A stat today.
I'm
I
so
literally
sorry.
seen a stat today. I literally seen this stat today.
I'm so sorry.
I was about to go like this. I was waiting for Kevin to mess up first.
My bad. So okay, hold on. So Gary and Javon, I'm going to give you guys a chance to redeem me for not asking you guys to have the ability to steal first. Gary, I'll give it to you first since you were so confident. Can you name the 4 times that the 49ers have won the NFC West since 2011? We've already talked about 3 of them in today's show.
Oh yeah, I know. They won last year, so 2019. No, not 20. What year are we in? I'm thinking when COVID still.
I did the same thing earlier. Okay, so what's your official guess?
2021, 2020, and was it what year was that? 2012.
Okay, that's incorrect. Javon, do you have a guess?
Not this year too, but yeah.
Yes, well, that was still incorrect. Javon, do you have a guess for the 4 NFC West titles?
This year, the Super Bowl year.
Okay, I need numbers. I need numbers.
This should be a lot for you,
Vaughn. Super Bowl year was 2019.
Okay, that's one.
This year, obviously, because
what is this year? What is this
2022.
year? 2022. Okay, I wanted to see if you would say 2021.
2012. That was
okay. One more.
That was the year we went to the, and then I want to say we won it in 2013 as well.
Oh man, see that was the fun part of this trick question. It was actually 2011. 2011.
Damn.
2012. 2019, 2022.
Wasn't 2013 when the year we went to the NFC Championship game? The Seattle won it that year.
That was 2012, and then 2011. Yeah, 2011 was the Giants' year when Kyle Williams happened.
Oh my God! Tough part about this question, I ain't gonna
lie. That's why I didn't get
it
right because I blocked it from my memory from that year.
That they won the title because Seattle was there too. Like y'all both were going to the playoffs, Seattle and the Niners. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but yeah, that is true. But we were talking about the division titles.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And I apologize because the original question was how many total. So, anyways, now guys, last question. This one is gonna go to Javon, the 49ers fan. So I would hope you get this right. Kevin and Gary.
Again.
Not really. Kevin and Gary, please be prepared to try and steal because I will not mess it up this time. Javon, I want to know, when was the last time the 49ers swept the Seahawks?
That was 19. Wow.
notice how I'm keeping a neutral face to not try and give anything away.
Never. Strict question.
The 49ers have never swept the Seahawks. Okay, that's your guess?
Yeah.
Okay, that is incorrect. Kevin or Gary, do either of you want to try and steal?
2013.
Gary, you were close.
Okay. Oh, so I don't get to. Oh, damn.
Oh, Kevin, you already said. Kevin,
as soon as you said he was close, I was gonna go 14 or 12.
I know. Okay. I said 12 first, though. I said 12
all right. Well,
first. Come on.
Okay.
Now.
Well, all of you were still wrong. It was 2011. We were talking about the year 2011. The last time that the 49ers.
Harbaugh's first year.
I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I do know because I fact checked this earlier that the last time the 49ers swept the Seahawks was in 2011. So
there was a time
there
when they
you
had
go.
you guys. They had your whole number. Y'all couldn't go nowhere.
Hey, well, congratulations to Kevin. He picked up a point this week, so now he's right on Toddy's tail. Gary, you did miss a week, but so did Toddy, and he's still in front. I'm sorry.
Still in front.
All right, guys.
Sean, I'm
So
gonna have some questions for you one of these weeks.
I know. I'm just waiting. We've already talked about this. I'm just waiting for you guys to flip
His
it on
first
me.
year was 2011, so yeah, it was
Okay.
2011 and 2014. So they're what, 5 years? So yeah.
All right, so there
those were
you
great
go.
times. We were winning a lot, except that
Real
last
great
year.
times, but this could be the year, Toddy. This could be the year because in 2012, man, yeah, just 2012 it hurt losing to the Ravens. 2019 hurt losing to the Chiefs. Maybe this could be the year. Anyways, I can tell that Kevin and Gary are getting annoyed by our 49er talk, so let's move on to the NBA, gentlemen.
Me and Kevin are scratching our foreheads. I don't know.
Yeah, you guys were both looking at me like, come on, let's move on. All right, so gentlemen, Gary, last week we made our predictions for the Sacramento Kings upcoming week in which they played at Toronto, at Detroit, and then at home versus Charlotte. All three of us ended up picking the Kings to go 2-1, which they did. So that means, hey, we were right. But it ended kind of on a bad note. I was there last night. Gary, you were there to see it. And it was a tough loss last night for the Kings against Charlotte. They basically trailed the entire game, and it was the LaMelo Ball show. And also, I want to clarify that LaMelo Ball never put De'Aaron Fox on skates, even though a certain ABC 10 reporter may claim otherwise. That was a funny Twitter debate between De'Aaron and Matt George, if you haven't checked that out. So, Gary, I just want to get your thoughts kind of on the Kings' last 2 weeks, really.
Man, to be honest, the Kings just feeling different, guys, and I'm just happy to feel it. Simple. I'm not gonna lie. The Kings, we've been feeling great going into the arena. You know, I'm a regular attendee at these games, and just seeing, especially since one thing I do want to point out, for some reason, the first half of this game, I know Sean said he was in the building as well. It wasn't as loud as it should have been. It's maybe, I don't know, we're just been living it up. I don't know. So the fans,
I apologize.
It was a little bit quiet, Sean. It was a little bit quiet, but it's all good.
I didn't do my part. In the fourth. Toddy has my cowbell.
Yeah, exactly. Or someone got to start bringing the beam out more. But I think the Kings are on the right track. I just feel like Coach Mike Brown and this team knows we're really starting to know our identity. Offensively, run everything through Sabonis. When it's time for Fox to cook, he's going to be cooking. We got shooters all the way around. Everyone's trusting each other. So I'm not really worried. I would feel like that was the worst loss of the year, just for the fact that the Hornets were coming into the game losing by 8 or 9, I believe. But I would say, even though they lost 8 or 9, that team, like everyone knows, has loads of talent and just really haven't been healthy all season long. So it was a mellow show in the fourth, as it should be. You know, he's showing, he came back from injury and just proving why he's going to be one of the big-time names in this league. And he's already a big-time name already, especially with this shoe deal and everything he got going on. Everyone's wearing Mellows. If you go to the playing basketball or anything like that, everyone got LaMelos on. But Kings-wise, I feel like defensively we're still trying to find our rhythm and just be able to be consistent, you guys. That's going to be the main things for us as a Kings team, just being consistent and showing up every night and not taking no team for granted. And I don't think last night they took it as like we're going to win easily type of thing. I think they just needed to bring the intensity earlier and often, and it's got to be a little sharper defensively. Some of those, obviously, we had a couple in and out buckets in the fourth quarter by De'Aaron and a Sabonis, little tap-ins that usually go in. I know everyone's probably going to point out the free throws, and obviously that was one of the main things. I don't know if Sean could hear. There was some fan yelling on the away side, just make your free throws, and even the Hornets players were laughing because, surprised we missed a lot, and we're not a bad free throw shooting team. And, the Hornets are high in fouls, so we kind of knew going into this game we're going to be shooting a lot of free throws. So us not making them when they count is a little bit, but I wouldn't be too worried about it just because we're not a bad free throw and shooting team. We have great free throw shooters. We got shooters everywhere. Just a bad night there. I just feel like they could have cleaned up things defensively, like we're still working on. And just offensively, sometimes I feel like maybe it's okay that we have enough guys to get in the heat check. It's okay if we can sometimes just get more things cooking, not just looking at Sabonis and Fox all the time. Because I feel like sometimes we have so many guys, it's hard to get. We're trying to pick what guy to get hot. So like one night it might be Hurt, or one night it might be TD. You know what I'm saying? So I like when they take turns, not just trying to look for somebody. So I just feel like we're still on the right track, and man, we're looking good, man. All positivity with the Kings here. Come on now.
Garry said that it feels different, and just to get to that free throw stat, so the Kings lose to the Charlotte Hornets 125-119, and they made 17 out of 31 free throws. That's 14 missed opportunities in a game that you lose by 6 points against, record-wise, one of the worst teams in the NBA. But like Garry said, they just need to get healthy. That is the Hornets. So, Kevin, monster stat line once again from Domantas Sabonis. 28
big body
points.
foreign.
23 rebounds. It is totally okay. 7 assists, nearly another triple-double, another 2020 game for Domas, who has to be an all-star this year. And De'Aaron Fox dropped 37 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists in this one. So, Kevin, we've been over the bad things like the free throws. What were some positives that we can take? Yeah. So what were some positives that we can take from this last week going 2-1?
You know, we can take a lot of good things out of it. I'm going to just give you guys some numbers over the past 3 games. De'Aaron Fox is averaging 29.3 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 7 assists, shooting 47% from the field. And that really shows a lot. Everything coming into this season was him proving the jump shot. They were treating him like he's just going to go to the rim, but him have that consistent jump shot to make teams at least put a hand up is going a long way for us. And you mentioned it, Sabonis. I have another stat for you guys. There's been one person to put up another 2020 game, and Sabonis has 3 already. So, like you said, they're definitely all-stars. There's no way they can't be. The Kings are winning.
No way.
It was good to see us go into Toronto and get a W. That environment was insane. I know you guys watched that game. And then to just go into Detroit and smack up on the Pistons, I just got one question, man. Mr. Ivy, how's it snowing all them L's, man? Sucks. Must suck up there. But like Garry said, none but positive things to say about the Kings.
So the Kings win in Toronto 124-123, which was unanimous among Javon, Kevin, and I that we thought that would be the one Kings loss from this past week, but they end up getting that win in Toronto on one of the toughest home courts in the NBA. Then, like Kevin said, they go to Detroit. They smack up on Jaden Ivey and Marvin Bagley III and the Detroit Pistons. And then they return home after a 6-game road trip, and they lose by 6 points to the Charlotte Hornets. So, Javon, I know that you're a big fan of LaMelo Ball, as we all are. So what were your thoughts on last night's game specifically?
Well, I mean, I wasn't aware that De'Aaron Fox had 37, so I don't know why the reporter was saying LaMelo put De'Aaron Fox on.
He was saying defensively.
Yeah,
defensively.
And I'm just like, the guy has 37, and then, Sabonis went 20 and 20, so you're kind of wondering, how the hell did the Kings lose? If you would have told me De'Aaron Fox goes for 37, Domantas Sabonis goes for 20 and 20, the Kings lose, you would say,
another team
right?
had like multiple people in double digits. That's why,
So, there's a defensive aspect to it. Kind of, when Mike Brown was brought in, he was kind of chose to preach defense. And I don't think the Kings kind of showed that last night, that they weren't really able to get stops. Kelly Oubre was kind of taking over the game in some weird fashion. And, LaMelo Ball did what LaMelo Ball usually does, and that's play really great offensively. I think, the Kings could have used a little bit of help from their bench. I've kind of mentioned multiple times on this podcast, and Garry kind of objected what I said when I said, usually when De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis play, at all-star caliber levels, they'll usually win games. And then Garry kind of came back and said, hey, well, these guys can play great, but what about the other guys like Malik Monk, like Keegan Murray or Kevin Huerter? If these guys aren't playing, shooting well, getting blocking shots, Chimezi Metu blocking shots, or, guys like Namitas Keita coming up, getting brought up from the G League, these guys aren't able to, do their part, it's still going to be tough, because obviously it's hard to win in this league. And when you have 2 potential all-stars, putting up numbers like that, and they're still losing, there's a problem there. And not even losing to one of the worst teams in the league. So, when it comes down to that, and Sean kind of mentioned being able to make free throws. I mean, they're free. if you would have just made how many points did they lose by? If they would have made half their free throws, they win the game, right? So, I mean,
You always do whatever
it literally comes down to just little things. Like I said, this is a young team trying to find its way to the playoffs. I mean, they're sixth in the Western Conference right now, and they're just figuring a way out how to win. You're gonna have to take their lumps as they go, but they did go 2-1 in this past week. So if they're able to stack up these 2-1s, these 3-0s, and just kind of keep being consistent, then the Kings will be fine. But as of last night, they didn't play great at home.
Garry?
I was just say, I think one thing I'm just happy to see, I think you guys will all agree with this. The thing that we already know they're different this year, right? It's pretty much we're already 25% into the season. If things are obviously different, it's not the same old Kings that we're used to. They always kind of prove some things in the playoffs and go on a deep run and things of that nature. But I think a great sign from our Kings team that, if you watch basketball all the time like we all do, they are showing up every night with consistency in terms of their how hard they're playing. They're not taking really any nights off. I feel like all these guys we have are hard workers, and that's something I know it's so easy to say, like hard workers, trying every night. They get paid. They should obviously be trying every night. You'd be surprised if you see some people just take some games off, just relaxing all, you know what I'm saying? Just not taking it as seriously as it should be. So I would give that head of the snake, and I feel like people always try to hurt him in the past, knock him for this. But Fox, man, he's been really bringing the pressure defensively, or like just bring the pressure to the other point guard. There's a lot of point guard matchups in this league, and so when he brings that intensity, I feel like the whole team brings intensity, and then combine that with Sabonis purposely trying to dunk hard dunks and get the team fired up, even though he gets smacked in the face all the time. I don't know how, but my guy needs to wear some goggles or something. But that's the only thing I would say. Like, one thing that's really great for our team is that we're really showing up every night and make sure the effort's there first, and that's the main thing.
So, Garry, real quickly before we spin it forward and get everyone's predictions for the Kings next week, we did have a question that we all answered last week that I want to get you on the record for and get it for the notepad. So, Garry, the question is, will the Kings finish as a top 6 seed in the West? Javon and I both said no. We're going to be pessimistic. Kevin said hell yes. So, Garry, I want to know, do you think the Kings will finish as a top 6 seed in the West? Why or why not?
Yeah, we always rocking together, man. That's why we always in tune, baby. Come on now. That's an obvious yes. Come on, guys. That's not a yes. It's looking right now. The thing that's what I love about the West this year, and that's we're gonna talk about a little bit. I don't want to give my other take later on the NBA, but the West ain't that. It's deep, but it's not like juggernauts at the top where we need to be scared of anybody here. As long as we can stay healthy and stay on the track we're doing right now, being the teams we're supposed to beat and being in ball games versus good teams, we should be not easily, but I would say we should be fighting for a top 6. I wouldn't be too worried about a play-in this year. And that's a good jump to take from no play-in to locked into the playoffs.
Yeah, so and you made a great point that the West and specifically the West, the East kind of is top heavy, but the West is not top heavy like it was in previous years when the Golden State Warriors were running the conference. So that was a yes. Was that a hell yes, or was that just a yes?
My mom might be watching. No profanity, guys. Just yes.
Yes,
HE double hockey sticks.
HE double hockey.
I'm writing yes, Mom. Okay, there we go. All right, so we talked about the Kings and their past week. So now, gentlemen, let's get to the upcoming week. So next Tuesday, we still got to figure out what we're going to be doing for next Tuesday's episode, because the Kings do have a game next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. So the game will still be going on at our regularly scheduled start time at 8:30. So we will figure that out and post it over our social media feeds. But the Kings do have 3 games coming up in the next week. They play at home against the Lakers tomorrow night. Then they play at home against the Wizards on Friday night. And then they have 3 full days off. And then they, because of Christmas, obviously, and the Kings aren't good enough to have a Christmas. Kings aren't good enough to have a Christmas game yet. I hate to break it to you. Man. Maybe next year. Yeah. Maybe they earn the street cred this year and they get one next year. But the Kings do not have a.
We need to funk it with somebody. We need to have some funk with somebody.
Like
we got to start beefing with somebody, y'all. Like the Hornets did. You know what?
Detroit.
Not the Hornets, like the Memphis Grizzlies do. You know.
Not even a funk.
Nobody wants to see Sacramento and Detroit on Christmas Day. I hate to say it. Okay,
please, no.
Kevin, I'm going to ask you first. So the Kings play at home over the next actually like 5, 6, 7, 8 games, whatever, through at least the rest of this month and the rest of this year. Thank you, Gary. So the Kings play against the Lakers, Wizards, and Nuggets in the next week. What's your prediction, Kevin, for their record?
So we got to count the third game since we'll be recording during the game, or are we just going to 2 games?
I think we say all three, just because, just in case if one team gets a big lead in the first half, we don't want to be switching our picks.
Bad. I'm gonna go 3-0.
I knew he was gonna say that.
I gotta go 3-0, man. The Wizards and the Lakers, I think those are gonna be the games we should win, but those are always gonna be the hard games when you say you should win something. So without AD, I think the Lakers and Russ aren't going to be able to beat the Lakers or beat the Kings. And then the same with the Wizards. Bradley Beal and Kuz isn't going to be enough. But the Nuggets with their 3-headed monster is going to be good. But it's going to be good to see Sabonis go and bang with the 2-time MVP monster.
All right, Gary, how about you?
Come on, man. 3-0. Come on. Is that easy?
Stamp it.
We all Kings fans. That's the thing, y'all. We all like to be,
not
going
toddy.
Stats, not too much politics. All of the Kings here. That's why we got a beam on the thing. It means, it's a new cowboy for our city now. It's the new addition. It means winning. So, we're gonna be winning a lot, hopefully. I'm over here jumping hella high on right now. Talking about we're gonna win the championship. No.
Oh, my bad.
3-0, Sean. 3-0.
All right, 3-0. Javon, how about you?
2-1. I'm a realist. I think that the Kings are good enough.
I already guess it.
Yeah, the Kings are going to beat the Lakers. I think they're good enough to beat the Lakers. I think they're good enough to beat the Wizards. Kevin said a 3-headed monster. It's more like a 2, 1.5 right now. Just Jokic doing what he does. He just had 46 and 27 the other night, by the way. I think they lose to the Nuggets. I think just the Nuggets, the way that they play great as a team. I think they'll come in. Jokic is probably going to have a monster game, and they might come out on top. I'm not sure if Michael Porter Jr. will be back by then, but I do think the Kings lose to the Nuggets. But they still go 2-1. Like I said, if they keep stacking these 2-1s, these 3-0s, they keep doing that, then they're going to be in good shape. Go ahead.
Now, I would say I don't know if people they play the Nuggets back to back, so maybe we steal the first one, lose the second one. I don't know. Maybe we can steal both, but that's gonna be a good one too.
Well, Gary and Kevin, you guys want to be twins, so I'm going to be a twin with Javon, and I'm going with the same exact prediction. I think 2-1. They lose that first game to the Nuggets, but then they do get their get back. And Gary, you mentioned how they play a back-to-back in Sacramento. I think they get their get back in that second game. But I think the Kings go 2-1 over the next week. So we shall see. I got it written on the notepad, and we will refer back to it next week here on Stats Over Politics, episode 7 next week, episode 6 this week. So, guys, I want to get to some other news in the NBA as the Phoenix Suns and Mercury franchises were sold today for $4 billion. Yeah, you heard that, with a B, $1 billion. Sure does make the Kings purchase price of like $525 million like 10 years ago look so much better than now, because man, the NBA team prices have just skyrocketed. So anyways, Matt Ishbia is purchasing the Phoenix Suns for $4 billion. He is now the NBA's youngest owner, and fun fact, he was a bench warmer on the Michigan State Spartans that won a national championship in the early 2000s. The more you know. So biggest news of this is that Robert Sarver is gone. I don't even feel like wasting my breath to speak about everything that's wrong with Robert Sarver. So, Kevin, I just want to get your thoughts on the sale of not only the Suns, but the Mercury franchises.
Starting off with the Suns, man, it's not a bad purchase when you get to inherit with a team with someone like Devin Booker that's already playing at an MVP level, and DeAndre Ayton. So they have their 2 set in stones moving forward. So it's a definitely great investment to see what they can put around them and see if they can finally get over that hump and win a championship. And the Mercury just as well, they have a lot of the big names in the WNBA as well. So just being able to bring in a new owner, get all that past stuff that we don't have to speak of out of it, and put it out of the past and open a new door and start a new chapter in Arizona.
And something that we have not mentioned, and for my WNBA fan out there, I apologize. Brittany Griner is finally free. She said that she will play for the Mercury coming up this season.
MVP caliber season?
I think so. I think she
Coming
comes
up.
back. I think she comes back and she
Big
absolutely
time.
she's going to have so much anger and she's going to have many dunks because Brittany is one of the few who can actually dunk in the WNBA. Gary, I want to get your thoughts on the sale of the Suns and Mercury.
I would just say I'm proud of the NBA because I know we're all fans, obviously, of the NBA, and that, just doing the right thing here and make sure they're having good people and just with the right people owning these teams. It says a lot that this team's getting sold for $4 billion. Obviously, every team's going up. Everything's going up to the NBA, and all these sports are all going up. So, shout out to the city of Phoenix. They're a great growing. They're one of the top 5 cities in the world. I was actually moving there soon, so I love Phoenix. Shout out to their shout out to them just handling business, and welcome to the NBA, my guy. What else? Come on now. I'm just happy they got. If you're any guy in the league not representing you right, and we can see there's owners in the NFL, there's some still owners in the NBA that don't represent the NBA right, and what needs to be represented is as a diversity league and just welcoming and all. And that previous owner, Robert Sarver, did not do that. And yeah, I'm happy he got his team stripped from him, and they have new ownership.
I got to go to Phoenix for the first time this past summer, and I went and covered a WNBA game, and I got to cover the Mercury playing the Liberty, and it's a beautiful arena that they got out there, and I'm happy for the Mercury franchise as well as the Suns because especially for everything that the WNBA stands for, it's nice that they have an owner that actually backs that up now. So, Javon, I just want you to close us out with this topic.
Well, yeah, you're just so happy to see new ownership. Kind of getting Clipper vibes from this when Steve Ballmer kind of took over for the Clippers back in the day. And you're seeing the Suns getting sold for $4 billion. $4 billion. It's a lot of money. Even for the Phoenix Suns, who, haven't won a championship in recent memory, you can only imagine what a team like the Lakers would go for, or Celtics, or just something super insane. So, you're just happy to see new ownership. Props to him for being the youngest owner in the NBA. And, you're just happy to see, obviously the situations were unfortunate under the old ownership, but, with this new ownership, you're happy to see, a lot of turnarounds and just hope that, things run smoothly. And I think that they will.
All right, gentlemen. Now let's get to our last main NBA topic for tonight, episode number 6 of Stats Over Politics. We appreciate you who are tuning in on YouTube or on Twitter. And for those of you who are listening to the audio, we appreciate you as well. Make sure to give us a rating and a review. We would really appreciate it. And hit that subscribe button. So, guys, now let's preview some NBA Christmas Day games because we do have Christmas coming up on Sunday, and I'm very excited for it. I know you all are as well. So just a quick rundown of the NBA Christmas Day games as we're kicking things off with the Philadelphia 76ers playing at Madison Square Garden against the Knicks, who always get that 9 a.m. Pacific
9 a.m. start. Yeah.
Start because they want to have Madison Square Garden on Christmas Day, but they don't necessarily want to have the Knicks. So the Sixers play at the Knicks, then the Lakers play at the Mavericks, the Bucks play at the Celtics. That's going to be a damn good one. Javon, you were talking about that beef. The Grizzlies and the Warriors play, and then the Suns and the Nuggets. So, Gary, I want to get your thoughts on this first. Which game are you most excited to see and why?
I'm most excited to see. Now, I had a lot of games. There's 3 games really excited to see. I'm not gonna lie. I do want
So
to.
pick
I
one.
want to see all these games. I can't pick one, Sean. I just want to talk about something in particular. Then I want to talk about is Luka, who's gonna take the next crown? Like, because these days about the face of the league too. You know what I'm saying? And I could do that. Maybe I'm gonna switch the question now because we're gonna talk about all these teams and stuff like that. But I got a question for you guys. Who do you guys think is going to be the next face of the league? We all know Bron's been basically the face of the league for the last 20 years. You guys think it's going to be the guy who's playing that night, Luka? You think it's going to be Ja who's playing later that night? We're going to start rolling with Steph. I feel like Steph hasn't fully grasped it just yet, even though obviously he's a babyface assassin, 4-time champion, all that. We still got Giannis, who's the young buck who just got his own ring. So I just feel like I got a question for you guys. Who's going to be the face? Not the best player. That's different. I thought who's going to be the face with the NBA? They push him no matter what. They're changing games time, game slots for this guy. He's having all the commercials. Who do you guys think is going to be the next face right now?
It's that guy
Kevin?
in Milwaukee.
Oh, okay. That guy in Milwaukee?
It's the guy in Milwaukee. Yeah.
100%.
Kevin?
It's 100%.
I'm going to make it unanimous. It's the Greek freak. I mean,
Damn, really?
Steph
You
is
could say Steph,
is and
but
always will
but
be
he's
transcendent.
on his way. He's
Yeah.
older.
I think it's gonna be Luka.
Yeah.
I think it's the guy LeBron's playing at. Why would they other matching up LeBron against him? I think it's gonna be Luka. He doesn't have that personality, obviously. I feel like that's the tough part about this. Have we seen a face of a league who's a foreign-born player? I don't know if you have seen that. I can't really think of any. From going from Magic to Mike, Larry, Dr. J. We keep going from
not
Shaq to Timmy.
necessarily the face, but I mean, Dirk had to be the
Oh yeah, I'm
closest
not
one
saying
to that.
1,000%. I'm talking about the face. That's why I'm like,
The
I
face,
feel like it might be
yeah.
hard. So
I mean,
I can't choose Luka because I feel like Luka's obviously. I guess I'm again the personality. I don't know if it's going. He's a very quiet guy, nice, humble guy. Sometimes there's like the guys who step up to the plate and talk a lot. Usually, I would say Tatum too, but I feel like he also kind of pushes the media away a little bit. I'll say the guy really actually I want to choose Giannis. Obviously, he's the best player. I love hearing him talk and stuff. But that guy Ja. Come on, y'all. I know he's a point guard, but he's my ear. Everyone gets AI vibes from Ja. That team just talks so much smack. I think them and the Hornets. I've been around the teams. Those two teams right there talk the most smack in the whole league because they're young bucks and they all want to be grimy and all talk their stuff. They all have confidence. So I think I'm gonna give it to Ja because he's gonna piss a lot of people off, and some people like going for the villain.
Hey, my guy Garry is always constantly dropping nuggets. I'm just wondering who's picking up on him. Kevin, I just want to know which game are you most excited to see this Christmas Day?
Oh man, it's easy. It's the Bucks and Celtics. We get to see the rematch, but this time Middleton gets to participate. The Celtics started off the first 26 games going 21-5, and the last 5 they've gone 1-4. So it's a roller coaster ride, and I think the Bucks are playing them when they're not playing at their best. So I think the Bucks are going to win this game, and it's going to kind of put that. I know, Toddy. I know it hurts, man. I didn't want to have to do it, but I think the Bucks and the Celtics, the Bucks are going to show why it goes 1 and then 2 with the Celtics.
Toddy, tell him why he's wrong.
He even asked me what game that I'm voting.
I want to say, fuck the question.
He don't even ask me. He already knows.
It's because everybody knows who we are looking forward to seeing.
I saw what this guy was capable of in the playoffs. Like he took us 7 games by himself. He's struck a lot of fear in a lot of Celtics fans' hearts. But I do think that there's another guy on the other hand in Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. The game's at home, so I think that we'll be able to get it. It's going to be a crazy, insane game. It's going to be probably the best game of the day, in my opinion. But I think that Jason Tatum and Giannis Antetokounmpo are probably going to have 35, 40-point games. It's going to be like some crazy stat. It's going to be a hell of a game. But I do think the Celtics do come out on top. I think I think Middleton he's not in full force yet. I still think he's getting kind of his legs underneath him a little bit. And, I think the Celtics figure out a way how to win at home. And it's gonna be a super close game. You could go either way with this, but I think the Celtics come out on top.
And my guy Manny, he and I are always on the same page.
It can't be Grizz and Warriors just because Steph's not playing. He's hurt. It can't be.
Hey Kevin, that's funny. I actually had Sean type that.
Make
sure who's typing these things.
Yeah, I was gonna say in our YouTube comments, I am not the one telling Manny to stop the cap. For our audio listeners, our guy Manny said that Steph is the face of the league. Kevin thinks that he is capping, and he wants him to know. But yeah, and so anyways, I'm most looking forward to Grizz and Warriors. Yes, I get it. Steph is not playing, and people like Manny think he's the face of the league. I don't agree with him in that sense, but I'm most looking forward to without a doubt, you could argue that he is. But I'm
Kevin, you can argue it. Come on now.
No, it's LeBron James.
Most jersey sales probably up there in jersey sales, up there in TV games.
Yes, it is.
No, Bron is still up there.
Bron is still the face of the until he retires. It's Bron.
Oh,
yeah, I agree with that. But like Kevin, I wouldn't say it's like no way. Like it's like he's probably 2. That's probably 2.
That's fine as long as
y'all
say
I said next.
It's kind of
He's
just like the Chiefs argument that I was saying earlier. I mean, LeBron has obviously done it way longer, but I mean, it's kind of like the Chiefs argument until someone takes that crown from him, like, and I pun
He didn't
intended.
make the playoffs last year. He's still the face of the league. Come on,
He was
lose.
hurt.
We talking about the face of the league. We're not talking about the best player. We ain't talking about
LeBron
the
has been the
champion.
face of the
We
league
talk about
for however
the man.
many years.
Exactly.
Last year was
That's so
kinda
funny.
that cutoff.
Hey, it's so funny.
That was the cutoff of when he wasn't the face of the
Lakers.
league. He went to the finals 10 straight years.
Lakers are
Like,
under
it's
500,
been
and they have a
long-
prime time game.
He was the face.
They have a
He's probably
prime
been
time
the face
game.
of the league. He's probably been the face of the league ever since he's entered the league. And however many years that is, 2018. Let's just say 18
I think it
that
was
he's
Kobe
probably
when
been-
he came into the league,
He's
but I
probably been the
digress.
face of the league since then. Last year when he missed the playoffs was kind of like, all right, let's kind of, and Giannis was kind of already shifting into that when he won his first title. So I feel like Giannis, Steph, Luka,
I just want to say
LeBron
sorry
is
to one
there.
person.
LeBron's in there, but they have a losing record right now. No one's really talking about LeBron because they're losing. But LeBron, yeah, he's putting up numbers.
They're always
he's doing all
talking
this
about
crazy
LeBron,
stuff,
man.
But he's not the face of the league anymore. Kevin, you got to give that up. I'm sorry.
Then why do they play on TNT? It's not for always dress.
It's LeBron. Obviously,
Okay.
it's LeBron.
It's face
Yeah,
of the
because the
league.
face. Anyway, I just wanted to
He
say
said
sorry to
always
KD.
dress.
We shouldn't have mentioned you. We didn't mention KD, and I felt disrespectful.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I felt disrespectful to KD.
All right.
That's
Well,
all.
I mean, speaking of disrespect, I
I'm
just have to
thinking
ask this question.
KD, LeBron, all of those guys, Steph, they've kind of been in the league now. It's kind of got, when you say face of the league, it's like, who's up next? And we all
Yeah, I
kind
said
of
next. Yeah, I
agree
said next.
It's Giannis. Like, KD,
I was saying
KD,
Ja.
Steph, all these guys are Hall of Famers.
Well,
Giannis
I
is
mean,
kind of that guy that we're all like, okay, he's the guy that, like, all right.
Ja,
he's the
and
Greek
don't
freak.
forget Mr.
You just-
Zion.
You could say Jokic too. He's MVP.
well, I mean, Gary, I just have to
No.
say that Gary, you made the comparison
said
of Ja
no.
Morant to Allen Iverson, which I think is a really good comparison, Gary, comparing Ja and Allen Iverson. But then that leads to the question of, was Allen Iverson ever the face of the league? I mean, in terms of
1000%.
in terms of culture, yeah, probably. But in terms of
That's what I'm talking about. Face that.
but in
plays, not
terms
that
of the
matters.
best player in the game,
I mean, he was
and
no,
the guy
he was not
who-
the best player, but he was top 5 when he played, and for a certain amount of years, especially like early 2000s, 1000%.
all right,
on
so okay, well,
You said AI wasn't the face of the league, or he was?
He said he wasn't.
I don't
said
think
he had a
AI
Yeah, that's crazy,
AI
Sean.
I don't think AI was ever the face of the league when it
No,
comes
it's actually-
to.
It's crazy that
I
you
So
feel
we
like it
gotta
was
real
Kobe.
quick.
a lot of
We
guys
gotta
feel like it was
differentiate.
Kobe
We gotta
during
make
that
a
time
difference
period.
real quick,
AI,
y'all.
From a culture standpoint, took over the league.
Well, that's what I said. From a cultural standpoint, he was, but I don't feel like he was the face of the league because when I think of who the face of the NBA is, I kind of lean more towards Kevin. I did say Giannis because I think Giannis is next. But when we're talking face of the league, I think of LeBron James.
See,
Before that, I thought of Michael Jordan.
When I say face of the league, maybe we shouldn't have been the definition of that rule. When I said the face of the league, Kevin and Vaughn and Sean, I was really saying
who is everybody trying to watch? Yeah.
but who's trying to watch box office? Obviously, it'd be a great player, top 5 player. I would hope. But box office, who's having the most game? No matter what time, who they're playing, they could play the Pistons on a 7 p.m. game.
That
they might
was
throw.
LeBron,
They might throw
Kevin.
them on. They might throw them on TV, and they might throw Zion and Ja. I don't know if they're throwing Giannis all the time.
And I'll let our audience be the last word on this one. Manny says that Giannis is pure athleticism.
Oh,
no
don't
skill.
disrespect it with the no
That's
skill.
why I don't
Manny.
think he can be the face of the league. Well, maybe I should jot that one
Don't
down
pull
on
the
the
James
notepad
Harden quote, please.
because Manny, that is a hot take.
He has no bag.
Like it doesn't take no skill to get to the rim.
Hey, man.
To get some
Him and
rebounds.
Harden
To,
kinda went,
find
man.
people on assists.
All right, gentlemen, we're coming up on 2 hours, coming up in about 20 minutes. So let's wrap things up with our timely takes from the NBA. So, Javon, I want to hear from you first. You were talking about the fact that the Warriors are now without Steph Curry. So are they in trouble right now?
I think the Warriors are in trouble right now. You kind of look, you saw a flash, right? Steph Curry goes down. Jordan Poole is going to kind of be the guy. He got the new contract. He had 30
Career high.
He
had 43.
43 we were talking about Toronto, one of the better teams at home. And then they kind of blew a stinker today in in New York. They got blown out by, I think, at least 30. So I think you're going to see a little bit more of that. You're just seeing kind of guys in and out of the lineup. Klay Thompson taking games off. Draymond Green not fully healthy. We have no idea what the hell is going on with James Wiseman. And, Steph Curry was kind of the glue, that consistency that's, I'm going to give you 29, 30 a night. And all of a sudden, that 30 a night, 27 a night, it's gone. And now you got to replace that. Where are you going to get that scoring from? Is it going to be Kuminga? No. Is it going to be Moses Moody? No. Is Klay capable of taking on that scoring load every night? Maybe not. So, and the Warriors are not even in the playoff top 8 right now. And Steph Curry is going to miss a month. So, Manny, the face of the league, man. I mean, I don't know. This Warrior team, are the Warriors going to miss the playoffs? Now, I'm not saying that they're going to miss the playoffs, but they might have to take that play-in route, and it might be they're set back. They're already set back right now. If the Warriors they got to win a certain amount. They can't get too much behind the 8 ball. It's gonna be nuts, man. To miss Steph Curry for a month, and they're already not within the top. I think they're like 11th.
They're
right now.
11th right now. They're only 2.5 games from the Kings. They're not too far back, but it is some scariness about Curry.
They can't go on like a 5-game losing streak. That's not going to help them.
So Kevin, tonight the Warriors lost at the Knicks 132-94. So tell me about those New York Knickerbockers, Kevin.
Man, longest winning streak. They're on 7 games, but now on 8 games, like Sean mentioned, they just beat the Warriors. You guys couldn't even remember this roster the last time they had a 7-winning game streak. Jimmy Fredette was a New York Knick.
Oh, Jesus.
Porzingis and Melo. That's how long it's been. That's how long.
That's a hell of a combo
on a 7-game winning streak.
Jeremy Lin.
The Knicks are doing their thing right now. They're currently ranked 6 in the East, and it really just goes to show that the $100 million man is doing his thing. We saw it early. Jalen Brunson. Okay. We saw it last year in the playoffs when Luka went down against the Jazz. He averaged 20. He averaged 28, 5 and 5, and it's just rolling over from that momentum that he had in the postseason. He's averaging 21, 7 and 3. And, Julius Randle and RJ Barrett are playing off of him really well. During this 7-game winning streak, Julius is averaging 27 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists, or 4 rebounds, excuse me.
I think they're playing through that guy right there. I think
and RJ Barrett is being the third star and just eating the rest. Jalen Brunson and Randle go up and get it. And
going crazy.
And RJ Barrett comes in and get it. So the Knicks are going to be a serious contender in the West or in the East. I don't think they're going to be a serious contender, but they can definitely float around that 6 to 10 area.
So
they're really built like us a little bit if you think about it. Not just the left hand, just the post presence guy, slasher. They don't got as many shooters as us, but just food for thought. Go ahead.
Right.
Yeah, and so Garry, tomorrow, the face of the NBA, LeBron James, and the 13 and 17 Los Angeles Lakers come to town to play the Kings. So are the Lakers going to pull the upset without Anthony Davis tomorrow night?
Oh no! Don't put that on that. I'm a LeBron fan. I hate the Lakers, but I'm a LeBron fan because LeBron gave me more happiness than the Kings have ever done in my whole life. So I'm always going for Bron. So right now, I'm going for the Lakers for a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but my whole point was today to speak on Rob Pelinka, Mr. Pelinka. Come on, man. Bron got this many years left. What do you want this guy to do? How many points you want him to put up every year?
40.
Give that man a chance. Like, can we 40? Exactly. You already drops 40. You want him to drop a 50 point in a finals game when he's over 35? You already did that before. It's like, come on, you guys. I think Rob Pelinka, hope sooner, better than later, makes a move. These picks, like, can't you learn from the Rams? I told you, I ain't trying to cuss, but F them picks, y'all. Come on now. Like, you guys waiting for a pick for a 7th grader? A 7th grader ain't helping Bron. He already got two little high schoolers at help, and he ain't picking them to help them win a chip. Come on now, we need an AD. We seen him when he's healthy. That's the key part. I hate AD, healthy. Man. I'm happy to see the motor. I'm really happy to see the motor, but they're gonna have to get a couple more rotational pieces for them. Like And I'm not saying that they have to make a big trade for a superstar. I mean, they can get DeRozan. He's not a superstar, but he's a really good player. I feel like they can make it work. But if they can get Bogdanovic, they can get another 3-and-D guy, at least one or two guys who are solid body players. I think at this point, it's already proven that the Lakers won championship 2020 with a similar type team. They had like cool amount of snipers, not like actually inconsistent snipers really. Like KCP was inconsistent. He was more consistent on three, but 3-and-D guy. We obviously know Danny Green sometimes couldn't hit a three for his life during that year. But hey, I feel like if they can get more guys to help them, especially on the defensive end, and just make a few shots it's going to be so much easier because it's something. I don't know. No one's saying that no more, but Russell Westbrook's been pretty solid. I mean, I wouldn't mind bringing him back next year too for a cheaper deal. His deal is just so much money. I feel like that's really what's been hurting them. But they just need a couple more guys. Because look at the lineup they pulling out last night, man. If you ain't got two of your stars, you don't even know who the hell. You don't know who's playing. Who even gonna? They getting Reeves 20 shots. Come on, man. Reeves like assist. I love Reeves. He's a nice guy. He's a great story too. AR-15 doing his work, but they just need to get a couple more guys, and I think that's all going to be on Rob Pelinka. Like LeBron and them are showing you, we got the stuff. Just put one more. Like what's his name? Eric Spoelstra, Pat Riley used to do with the Heat. Like obviously that was way like prime time, but drop a few nuggets in there. Make some guys come want to come to LA for a cheap deal, and let's get it cooking. Get LeBron in the dance, y'all.
They trying. They're in trade talks with everybody. Chicago,
they're in trade talks
the
with
Pacers. He's trying. And
let's pull the trigger. Come on now. I don't know if he's. See, the problem is, talking about one more last thing before I move on here. Genie is obviously putting no pressure on the man. He's in a contract year, I'm pretty sure. Or did he just get extended? I forgot which one it was, either or. But still, yeah, he's in a contract year, I believe. And they have not put no pressure on this man. And I don't feel like he's feeling the pressure because, Genie got his back. And I'm not trying to say put him on a negative way, but put him on a way where this LeBron, man, come on. It's like the end of his career. Let's not have a Kobe-esque. No, obviously the way he dropped left was great. RIP to the Mamba, but like a Michael Jordan-esque. These players who are 2-3 years, we still see like they got a little bit, but it's like they ain't got time for the ring. So that's all I'm trying to say. Give him a chance for the ring.
So I want to talk about the team that's up north, right next to Kevin, the Portland Trailblazers. I almost spent my time talking about Wally Zerbiak versus Tyrese Halliburton, but I'm not going to give Wally any more time than I just did right now. No clout for Wally. That's what he wants. So I want to talk about the Portland Trailblazers, who are currently 17-14, and they are 7th in the West. More specifically, I want to talk about Damian Lillard, because he just recently eclipsed 18,000 career points and became the all-time leading scorer in Blazers franchise history.
Blazer ever?
Best Blazer ever. I mean, there's Papa Sabonis who used to play. I love Clyde. Papa Sabonis used to play for the Blazers. Let's not disrespect Arvidas.
Scottie Pippen was also a Blazer, so let's remember that.
That's a little late.
But his career as a Blazer wasn't the best Blazer ever. To me,
Greg Oden was also a Blazer too, Kevin.
For 2 days.
Yeah, so
no, but just we're not a shitting on people's show. Come on, y'all.
Yeah, don't disrespect me and Kev's guy from the Ohio State University, first pick overall. You better respect that. He got drafted before Kevin Durant. That's an accomplishment in itself. So anyways, Damian Lillard, now the all-time leading scorer for the Portland Trailblazers. And not only that, he is the 3rd highest scorer in the NBA since he came into the league in 2012. Any guesses? Bonus Sean's pop quiz. Oh, look at that. It popped up at the end.
James Harden.
Who are the 2 players who have scored more than Damian Lillard since he came into the league?
James Harden, LeBron.
All right, there you go. Gary is no longer in the goose egg category, ladies and gentlemen.
That doesn't count as a point.
Why y'all hating on me now?
We did that an hour ago.
Sean just set it up and said it's an extra point for the show. Now they want to say no.
Hey, Gary. Earlier,
Kevin and Vaughn was going to support me on that one. They kept quiet. Let me just say,
Gary. I said it earlier. Kevin can be ruthless, man, when it comes to his bets.
Yeah, he
when it
wants
comes
to keep
to
me
his
at
trivia.
0. Now I see you, Kev. I see you, Kev. I see you.
Not about my
And
money, man.
and while we're on the Blazers topic, Manny does say Kev saying Scottie Pippen is the greatest Blazer of all time is like saying MJ is the best Wizards player of all time. That's a great point from Manny. But anyways, I just want to finish off by saying that I just want to recognize the greatness that is Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard gets a lot of hate, like they were saying, and they were finally giving him his respect in the bubble, even getting Kenny Smith to go as far as saying that he was the best point guard in the league when Steph Curry was still in the league, and Steph felt some type of way about that. But let's not compare. Let's just recognize the greatness that is Damian Lillard, and let's just remember that like he's just a guy from Oakland who went on to play in the Big Sky Conference at Weber State, and now he is the all-time leading scorer for the Portland Trailblazers, and I just wanted to recognize that. I wanted to try something new, get your guys' thoughts on that later, but I just want to recognize the greatness that is Damian Lillard. So I just want to say I appreciate him.
One more thing.
Is he the second best shooter ever? This is another topic for another day, probably, y'all. But
Clay Thompson on line one.
I mean, I'm just saying he did say the other day, like he said Curry should be number 1, but I think I should be 2, and I was like.
That's what we call that's what we call a topic for when it's baseball season.
We'll call it teaser.
Or teaser. We'll figure it out. Anyways, Javon, you had a final thought.
I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Brooklyn Nets. They're on a 6-game winning streak right now. Kevin Durant's averaging 30.5 points a game. Kyrie Irving's averaging about 26 points a game. This team is only getting healthier. No one's really talking about them because they had so much drama going on. The whole Kyrie situation, but I think he's responded as well as anybody could have, kind of put his head down and just grinded it out. And they're playing tremendous basketball under Jacques Vaughn, and I think they're going to be the healthiest they've ever been since they've joined, I think tomorrow night when they play. And I think the league should be, talking about Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving a little bit more, just more than they should have been. Not for all the negative stuff that they've kind of been through. But I think that those two guys are playing as good as anybody in the league right now.
Gary, Kevin, any final thoughts that you want to leave us with?
The question, we in the hunt, Steeler Nation, since we're going to be talking about football. I think.
They're not in the hunt.
Go Kings, man. Light the beam tomorrow.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for episode number 6 of Stats Over Politics. I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate, enjoy it. And we will catch you all next week on episode number 7 of Stats Over Politics. James, we'll see you all next week. We appreciate you for always tuning in. Shout out to Manny and Dame Dalla with the Big Sky Conference. And for Javon Toddy, Kevin Dent, Gary Singh, I am Sean Holko. We appreciate you all for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe, rate, and review. And we'll catch you all next week on another episode of Stats Over Politics.
Peace.